Hello, this informational chat is entitled Agency Adoption versus Private Adoption. I'm Dr. Berger, a psychologist and founder and director of a not-for-profit and fully licensed adoption agency that has helped pregnant women, birth mothers, birth fathers, and adopting families in all 50 states for over 40 years. We have helped in all kinds of adoptions that have completed over 900. All United States domestic adoptions, and that's what I'm talking about now, is domestic adoptions, with the exception of a step-parent adoption, all of them can be seen as either an agency adoption or a private adoption. While in both of these kinds of adoption, the final result is the ending of the biological parent's parental rights and the adoption of the child to an adopting family, the way the process proceeds can and typically is very different. It is important for you to understand both types, since many states have one process for an agency adoption and a very different process for a private adoption. Your rights, the options that open to you, the specific laws involved, the time periods involved, and the reimbursable fees, the protections available, and the possible problems and fallout of each of these two kinds of adoption can be so different. Let me now talk about the two types. An agency child adoption occurs when the matching process, the placement, and follow-up are arranged through a licensed child adoption agency such as ours. Each licensed adoption agency has been carefully and fully investigated and monitored to make sure that it offers a full range of professional services and that it carefully evaluates the birth mother, the birth father, and adopting persons, and helps to make sure everyone's rights are protected and the process proceeds the way it should from beginning to end. The other side, a private child adoption, as opposed to an agency adoption, occurs when the placement of the child is arranged through a private individual, often an attorney, physician, friend, or facilitator. With a private adoption, the finding of a birth mother and child, the matching process, the ending of parental rights, all of these are typically done by a person operating as the intermediary, that is, the go-between. Whether this person is an attorney, a physician, nurse, friend, adoption facilitator, or referral service, it is still a private adoption. Before I continue, let me acknowledge that based on all my years of experience, I am biased in favor of licensed agency adoptions as opposed to private adoptions. When you read the horror stories in the newspaper about a child adoption, all too often it is likely to be a private adoption. In fact, several states do not allow private adoptions and require that, for the safety of everyone involved, all child adoptions be conducted only through a licensed adoption agency. Overall, I have found that private adoptions are typically more risky than agency adoptions for both the birth parents and the adopting family. A private adoption can be risky for a variety of reasons, and to me, the most important one is that in a private adoption, the needed and all important ongoing support, counseling, and follow-up services are all too often left out of the picture and are not provided as needed. If someone you know is recommending the private adoption route to you, whether it is your doctor, friend, family member, or whoever, while they may have your best interest at heart, their advice can be problematic. Again, based on my many years of experience with both private and agency adoptions, it is strongly recommended that you work with a licensed agency and avoid the private adoption route. Now, let me talk a little bit more about agency adoptions. An agency itself can be a public agency, that is a state or county agency operated typically as part of the state's foster care system, or it can be a private for-profit agency or a private not-for-profit agency such as ours. But the most important factor in selecting a child adoption agency is that they have met all the state's requirements and are fully licensed to provide you with a wide range of professional services. Based on my 40-plus years of experience, the most important variable is for you to make sure the agency is licensed and that they are flexible enough to help you with the kind of adoption you want. And if they are not-for-profit, that is an added benefit. In order to make sure an agency is licensed, all you have to do is ask them for their license number and the phone number of their licensing authority. Then call the licensing authority to confirm the agency is licensed and in good standing. Every state has a licensing authority that can answer your questions. A licensed agency will carefully screen and evaluate everyone involved in the process. The agency will help find a birth mother and obtain prenatal care for her if she needs it, and then coordinate the birth mother's medical and hospital care as needed. They can also keep in touch with the birth mother and birth father, and by providing needing support and counseling, reduce the birth parents and adopting families' level of stress and anxiety. They can provide everyone with all the ongoing counseling, support, and aftercare services so often needed for an adoption to succeed and for everyone to be comfortable with their decisions. The agency will acquire a full medical history and assist in the matching of the birth parents and the adopting family, assist in the placement of a child, and help in the ending of parental rights and the finalization of the adoption. I hope the above has been helpful. If you want more information about this or other adoption issues, you are always welcome to contact me or my staff at the number and or web address shown in the description of this video. My best wishes to you and those you love.